So now that we've set our pressure network catalog, we can go ahead and actually start creating pressure network part lists. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and set our pressure network catalog to the Imperial AWWA push on. Going to click OK, and then inside of pressure networks, down under parts lists, you have the option to use the current standard one that's currently in the drawing, and you can right click and edit and add in pipes and fittings and appurtenances, just like we did for pipes and structures when we did pipe networks. We would just right click, add material. For the push on parts list, there's no additional materials. There's only ductile iron here. So you can right click and add size and select your sizes. Or fittings, same thing. I'm actually going to create one new parts list to work with for a future drawing. And we're going to go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to go to parts list. I'm going to right click. I'm going to click new. I'm going to go to my information tab. I'm going to call this 12 trunk. And then I'm going to click onto the pressure pipes. I'm going to right click on here. I'm going to click add material. I'm just going to select ductile iron. I'm going to select OK. I'm going to drop down, right click on ductile iron, click add size. I'm only going to do a 12-inch pipe for this network. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And then I can move on to fittings. Under fittings, I'm going to add type. I am not going to deal with any crosses or T's. I'm only going to have elbows. So I'm just going to check elbow and click OK. I'm going to drop this down and right click on the elbow, add size. I am only dealing with 12-inch pipes, so I only needed to deal with a 12 by 12. I'm going to add in all of the bend angles that we have available to us so that we have all the options available to us when we're doing our pressure network layout. So I'm going to start with 11.25. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to expand this so that we can see all the parts that we've added to make sure we have them all. So just add 11.25, add a 12-inch. We're going to go and add another size. We're going to go and select the 12-inch again. And what you'll notice is that the 11.25 is gone because we already have it in our list. So it knows that we don't need to select that option again. So we're going to go with 22.5 and select OK. We're going to right click again, add size, go to 12 again, and you'll notice 45 populates. So we'll click OK, right click, add size, 12, 90 populates. We click OK. We are not going to add any appurtenances, but if you needed to add one, we're going to go and you can click add and you can choose 150 PSI or 200 PSI. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK just so you can see. I'm going to right click on this 150 PSI and click add size. I'm going to drop down here. So there is no 12 by 12 available for 150 PSI. So I'm going to go ahead and right click and delete. And then I'm going to right click, add type, and choose 200 PSI. And then I will right click and add size and drop down. And 12 is available for 200 PSI. So I will click OK. So moving on from here, we now have pipes, fittings, and appurtenances for our 12-inch line. So I'm going to go ahead and click apply and OK. And you'll see under the parts list, 12 trunk has populated itself. Now, if you wanted to have every single part inside of a parts list that's in your part catalog, there is an option just like we had available to us for our pipe networks for create full parts list. You can see that the command prompt for that is create network parts list full. The command line prompt for creating a full parts list for pressure networks is similar. It is create pressure parts list full. So create pressure parts list, and it's part list full. If you were to click this and hit enter, Civil 3D would stop for a little while depending on the strength of your computer, because there is a absurdly large amount of information inside of the pipe networks catalog. Also, depending on which catalog you have selected, some of them have a lot more than others, but it takes a little while for it to complete an entire parts list using the create pressure parts list full, and it takes a long time to wade through all the information when you create a pressure parts list full. So I don't recommend it, especially if you're working with some of the larger catalogs. The one that we're working on, the push-on catalogs list, is a little bit smaller than some of the other ones, so it might not take as long, but I think it's worth the time to create a specific parts list for what you need it to do.